And welcome back, everybody, to IGN Live at PAX Prime 2015. We are on the YouTube gaming stage. Thanks for having us, guys. I'm with Randy Varnell. You are the creative director for Battleborn?
That's right.
Battleborn is a game with lots of colorful characters. And you're the guy who kind of helped come up with these? Is this your baby?
This is my baby, yeah. I worked on Borderlands 2, and me and a few guys from Gearbox rolled right into Borderlands out of that. And so we've spent several years coming up and dreaming with all these bright and vibrant ideas. But yeah, we announced just a few months ago that we're releasing with 25 playable characters in the game, and that's it's amazing and scary and frightening and awesome, all rolled up into a sausage.
How much coffee did you have the day you decided that was a good idea? That is ambitious. So it's kind of overwhelming to even like tackle this game because it is 25 characters. It's kind of this.
Yeah.
It's a crazy game. A lot of colors, a lot of stuff going on.
It is.
But it is grounded in this universe.
Yeah, I mean, you know, when we started the game, we love that mix. You know, you've seen a lot of the new superhero movies like Avengers or Guardians of the Galaxies and stuff like that. And you've watched as our culture's really enjoyed finding a way to take wide, vibrant characters and color and superpowers and humor, but still have high stakes, right? So we wanted to mix those together. So we started off with the stakes, you know, and we're like, how extreme can we go? Is the Earth under threat? No, that's not good enough. You know, are we just saving the Earth Defense Force? That's not good enough. No. The entire universe, and let's kill all the stars but one. And that's where we start with Battleborn. There's one star left in the entire universe.
Okay.
Yeah, so
that is some Jack Kirby like late 70s.
Right, and if you want to feel really depressed about yourself, you know, you actually read some recent science and you understand that, you know, stars actually have a limited amount of fuel and eventually they go out and one day all the stars in the universe, it's going to be billions of years in the future, but all the stars in the universe will have gone out. They call it heat death. And that's, you know, an exciting thing to get you up with in the morning, but we're exploring that really extreme space in sci-fi and imagining, you know, what would happen then? You're in the future, you've got all these, you know, these sci-fi folks and these civilizations, and they got up from their planets and got on their spaceships or whatever, and they were treated the kind of growing dark as that happened. And now they're all kind of clustered around this one last star. And you know, you got to imagine that's going to cause some conflict and some fighting, and everybody's got their own philosophy. Some are like, you know, yeah, the end is near, and some are like, no, the end is near, and some are like, let's blow up the star and let's save it and all of that. And you know, you drop into that mix, you know, of course, a villain, a group. We've got these interdimensional kind of black dark beings called the Varelsi, who have actually accelerated a little bit at the end, and so they're a big threat. And now they partnered with a betrayer, Rendane, who's kind of big, complicated plot, but to say that, you know, you as a Battleborn are standing up with your, you know, either single player or co-op group of players to try to save that last star in the universe from these threats.
So you've got all these different characters, and this, you know, there is a framework of this overarching story. How do you introduce players to the different kind of motivations of each character?
How do you introduce? Sorry.
How do you introduce players into a story of this scale?
Oh, yeah.
You're gonna, you know, just, if you start the game up, is it kind of like, I mean, you've got more characters than most fighting games here, you know.
You know, we throw you in and set you on fire, I think is probably the most appropriate description.
Welcome to Heat Death.
We have, when you start up the game, you know, we certainly have, you know, an arc of the story that you'll play through in the story mode of our game. There's going to be a prologue that kind of sets it all up. So you get in, we'll start you on one character, you'll get to play around, and you'll actually unlock characters as you play through the story missions. But even better, we've dealt with that same question over the last couple of years. We're playing around with how the narrative is delivered. So rather than a single linear story arc that you're trying to keep track of, we've designed every mission of this game to be almost like a TV episode. So while there is a broader story for the season, if you will, you know, each time you go in and play a 30, 45-minute story mission, you're going to start and you have a conflict for that mission, some battle or some event that happened that you need to go in, and you get to pick whichever the Battleborn that you want to take into that. And we're doing some things where you actually get to hear a little bit of their take on that story. They have some different attitudes and some different philosophies about what's going on, and you get to hear a little bit of their backstory through that lens.
Now,
so,
kind of given Gearbox's track record and the what's established by Borderlands, I imagine there's going to be some sass. There's going to be we see these gorgeous landscapes, and then there's the battle, and then but there's going to be they're going to be talking some crap, right?
Well, we definitely have that kind of trademark Gearbox humor in there. You know, you look at our characters. You go by the Battleborn booth at PAX, and you see Montana, who started off as like, we need like let's pull from like our love of World War II and create some characters that kind of aesthetically do that, and then let's like put on steroids for a month. And Montana's like 20 feet high, and he's got these big broad shoulders and this tiny head, right, and these tiny ankles. He's definitely a skip leg day guy. But you play through the characters. Yeah, there's a lot of sass and humor and stuff in that. We've got one of my favorites is we've got this, we call him Marquis de Caliber. He's our gentleman robot sniper, and he's got the little bowler hat and all that in a robot. He actually has an owl that he can summon out and do stuff with, but he has named his cane. His cane is a gun. It's a sniper rifle and a pistol, and it's awesome. It's called Bindlebane. And if you know what a bindle is, it's the bag that hobos carry around. And Marquis is often rattling on about hobo eradication protocol. So he sees himself in the upper class, and his mission is to eliminate all the poor people in the remaining universe.
Okay,
so.
It seems like something a robot in a bowler hat would kind of do.
Yeah.
I love these characters. You guys at PAX have a hospital, which is a cosplay hospital.
Isn't that amazing?
Borderlands has a huge cosplay community behind it. I'm going to throw this out there. Did you make this game knowing that people might be dressing up as the characters?
It's surreal. We definitely there's in the character design there's a nod to a lot of that. As we made the Borderlands game and watch how many people just kind of fell in love with our universe and our characters there. It's been surreal to come to these conventions, and you don't just see 1 or 2 Borderlands cosplayers. You see like 400 in a room. And it's like
unsettling sometimes.
It's a little unsettling, but. We love our fans, and we love that. And when we thought about that in Battleborn, we definitely want to be sure. Our art director Scott Kester actually says, every time one of his rules for designing a character is like, the clothing needs to work out. Sometimes you see, fantasy characters and all that, and like you would never actually be able to fight in that.
Right.
And Scott thinks about how would you put this together, and he did a lot of that and Borderlands, and has done that in Battleborn. We actually have at Gearbox Sarah Rosa and Ashley Rochelle, who went to the World Finals of Cosplay in Japan, placed 3rd. They represented the United States in the World Cosplay Competition.
Oh, damn.
And they're awesome. So yeah, it's definitely near and dear to our heart at Gearbox, and we're really excited to interact with fans who love us. We love them. So it's just kind of a big love fest.
That's awesome. Now, let's say the fans want to shoot each other in the face. You guys haven't really talked a whole lot about competitive multiplayer.
I know, right? Oh, it's so awesome. We really emphasize, because it's one of the things that you look at other games that are kind of playing around with the first-person hero genre stuff. A lot of games are trying to get into the characters and all. And we've got the story mission, which is kind of unique for us. But our competitive is awesome. We've not been there for a while with Gearbox, and we're really excited to get it to people's hands. It should be coming up hopefully soon. We've got a closed technical test. I'll talk about that in a second coming up.
Now, hold on. Closed technical test. That sounds almost like you're saying like a beta or an alpha, but you're not.
It's fancy producer speak, but definitely we know that when you get into multiplayer, it's on servers, it's online. We want to be sure that, because we haven't done it a while, it's a big new thing for us at Gearbox. We want to be sure that the game plays solid and it gives a good experience for players. So really for this one, it is more about focusing on being sure that the servers are right, that everything's good and all of that. But it is the first chance for fans to get their hands on Battleborn. rsvp.battleborn.com. You can sign up for the closed technical test. First time you'll be able to get your hands on the game. Multiplayer is great. I'm not going to say whether or not it's going to be in the closed technical test. I think marketing ninjas would fly out and kill my head and stuff like that.
Yeah, they do that.
But yeah, they do. But we're going to get that multiplayer out. We've got 3 multiplayer modes, multiple maps every mode. It gives you a way really to take all 25 of these characters and, like you said, shoot each other in the face, or slice each other in the face, or punch each other in the face, or magic each other in the face, whatever your particular flavor is.
Okay, so you got these 25 characters,
right,
and you've got competitive multiplayer. That sounds like a real pain in the ass to balance.
Yes, my ass is duly pained.
And that's obviously part of the reason you would be having a technical test. Get people in there.
We at Gearbox, we really have a vibrant competitive culture. We play a lot of the big competitive games internally. Sometimes one another. We actually have some guys that occasionally go out and compete in competitions. So we've not done it in a while, but we, at least as a spectator and as a fan of the industry, understand what it takes to do that. So we've invested a lot in the last couple of years, being sure that we have the back end to understand. We're talking about asses, and I'm talking about back end here. We're talking about servers and data and all of that fancy stuff. We really understand the basics of what we're going to have to start with to balance. That said, we're pretty sure that we're not going to land right out of the door with the balance exactly perfect. We're going to have some problems and all of that, and I'm super excited as we go into the closed technical test and probably even beta beyond that, and then to release, and February 9th is the release date, hands on there, to really work with our community, to talk to the guys who love our game, who are willing to talk to us, to watch how they play, to listen to how they play, and listen to what they want, to be sure that the game is very balanced. There's a lot of complexity in here, but you know, it's a very approachable game. I don't know if you've gotten a chance to get your hands on it, but I encourage everybody at PAX to get over there and try it out as soon as possible.
If people do that, do they get these badass Battleborn sunglasses?
I think sunglasses and t-shirts today.
Oh man.
One of my favorite characters, I think we've got the Caldarius t-shirt up today. He's a very Gundam influence, so if you like anime and Gundams and all that, Caldarius is your guy. Got t-shirts for him today. It's really cool.
I can respect that. So pulling out to kind of big picture stuff, what was this like conceptually? Like I said, how many cups of coffee did you have before you 25 characters in this game? What was like, you guys obviously been working on this kind of at the same time as Borderlands, I imagine, to a certain extent.
Well, we definitely with the pre-sequel, you know, we have a couple of teams always working on stuff at Gearbox. So the pre-sequel and the Handsome Collection, we were working on that, and the Battleborn team was kind of in early stages and all of that. We've got pretty much all of the might of the studio at Gearbox now finishing up Battleborn for these last few months, working really, really hard. But it's it's been a lot of work and a long time with a lot of really, really talented guys and a lot of them working on Borderlands and Brothers in Arms and all of our other titles.
Awesome. Well, Randy, thank you so much for coming by. Yeah, that's February 9th, and that's on the
February 9th on PC, PS4, and Xbox One.
Killer. And you said what was the sign up for the RSVP for the tech?
RSVP.battleborn.com. You can go and sign up for that, and we'll hopefully get you into the closed technical test.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming by. Thanks. We're going to be doing plenty more stuff for PAX right here on YouTube Gaming and on IGN. I'm Max Scoville. See you guys in a bit.